go. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of whatever the good noodle, the best noddles, the goodness. Today I'm going back to something that I always enjoyed or used to enjoy when I had the time to, and that's painting my own nails. It's a useful skill. I have a daughter, so it's going to pay off, I promise, and I also enjoy doing it for myself, so screw it, I like what I like. So you'll see me looking down a fair amount in this as I paint, but I figured it would be the perfect time to do it as I speak and ramble. Today's been a good day overall, an interesting day. I've been playing the Tale of Toast Alpha, which I enjoy. I think that's going to be a good free-to-play MMO, and I really hope that the developers stick with it. It's very enjoyable, it's very cute, and everything is just, it feels handcrafted, hand-done, hand-touched. It feels like it's made with love. Like, the level up noise is just it's super cute, and the sheeps just go meh, and it's like someone just going meh, meh. I'm excited because I'm going to be making a new character and starting from scratch on that, because one of the big appeals of Final Fantasy XIV for me was the ability to do everything on one character, but I miss story quest experience. That fate grinding is brutal, and granted I got everybody up to 50 except for my crafters on Kieran, my main, but it's also for lore reasons and because I'm a giant hefty big nerd with my girlfriend has a secondary character as well, that I wanted to create a paired mate that's more akin to her personality than, because Kieran, my main, gets on well with her main character. In an RP setting, they get on well, they're kindred. But Kieran and her alt, they're more like brother and sister because they're forced to be within close proximity because of my girlfriend's main. There's a whole bunch of story behind it. We have really cute screenshots. I'd like to have those put up at some point somewhere. I've been begging her to put them up on her Tumblr. We'll see if those go up. It's amusing. My life revolves around video games mostly, so it would make sense if I do this as a career, but for the longest time I felt, no, how could somebody do this as a career? That's not possible, that's not feasible, you shouldn't dare enjoy your job. Either really bad at painting with the left hand, so let's see how this goes. And it's been a while. Oh, it's been a while. I've missed this though. I missed painting my nails. Because I think last time I did it I was still working at Dispatch. It must have been pretty early on. Back when I still had like hopes and a soul and dreams and stuff. Not to say that it's all Dispatch that killed all those. No. Oh yeah, that's right. This time I was going to talk about how I got to where I am. So, for about a year, 2015 to 2016, a little over a year. Well, I guess it all depends on what you count for training. I've always tested well. Always have. Testing has... I mean, it's always excited me because it's a quantifiable way to see how good at taking tests you are. Not necessarily how good you are at X, Y, and Z thing. So, I tested really well. They were like, man, we haven't seen test scores like this in a long time. I mean, maybe in a different time, if I was different human, or hell, maybe if I was still with my ex-wife, then that would have been more feasible. But as it stands, I couldn't do the real life side of it because there's only so many times you can. Well, it's odd too because I enjoyed the job. Technical aspect of it I enjoyed, but I never fit in well because they repeated it multiple times. You know, it's those who do this job are type A personality and have a hard time identifying and empathizing with others sometimes because that's the person who is successful at that job is that way generally. I'm not. I'm beta as fuck and empathetic, which is ironic because I'm a switch. I didn't like whenever they would explain the qualities of a dispatcher as someone who's obsessive compulsive, who's got to have everything organized to a T, as someone who's alpha and needs their questions answered right now. That was not me. And I mean, I saw it when everybody would always tell me, why are you taking so long? Because I'm trying to actually solve this human's problem. It's hard. And like, I would always try to solve people's problems entirely so that they wouldn't have to call back again when that wasn't generally wanted. It's speed. You should be on to the next caller by that point. It's how many calls can you answer? And yes, it's valuable to get their questions answered, but way more importantly, it's the call volume. How can you move on to the next caller and all that? But all of that I could generally handle. I mean, I'm everything that came together and piled up. It was just a real clusterfuck of events. My performance really started tanking after the separation from my ex-wife. Or, like, technically currently she's still my wife, but the whole divorce process is slowly going along, I think. It's a mess of a custody battle because my daughter is technically not... She's not blood related to me, which is a nightmare. I've been there since her birth, but I didn't contribute in the creation of her in the least. So therefore I have to fight for every single right that I get, which is making the divorce process go by very, very, very slowly. So it all kind of began around then when I was having mental breakdowns. I wasn't sleeping hardly at all. I mean, I was coming into work, I didn't go back to drinking, which is a positive, but I mean, I'd come into work on a few hours of sleep, if that, and consecutive night after night. And, you know, I mean, my performance was tanking and failing, and they'd call me in and say, "Why? We've seen you. Why aren't you doing better? Be better." And I mean, it was just really, really difficult to try to overcome that, to try to heal myself, and also, you know, take care of my daughter and make sure that she was okay, and watch out for the well-being of like an entire county, because the dispatch center around here dispatches for the whole county, fire, medical, and police. So it's all three that you get all kinds of calls. There were 2 in a night that just really capstoned my needing to be out of there. And one involved a 4-year-old, which is the age of my daughter. And the entire time I took the call, I couldn't stop thinking about her. And it destroyed me. It made me sick. It was not good. Not good at all. And the other involved a suicide of a 12-year-old, and I couldn't take hearing that again over and over, night in and night out, because I do internalize a lot of that. I mean, those 2 calls are going to stick with me forever. And I mean, I've heard people kill themselves on the end of the phone. I've heard people just begging for a reason to live. I've heard, I mean, it's bizarre because some people just wanted to have one final conversation. Like, they've already planned to end it. They've just called, and I mean, I'm trying to get, you know, info and figure out what's going on. Because you can tell, I mean, you can tell when something is a little off and just kind of screwy, and, you know, they're dodging the subject of, okay, why are you calling today? What can I help you with? And, I mean, some of them are on the verge of tears, some of them are completely no affect in the voice at all, because they're already checked out. They're already, you know, guns to the head. And a gunshot over the phone is remarkably anticlimactic, because the little microphone can't capture, you know, the sound of that tiny life-ending explosion. It just sounds like a little, because it cuts out. It clips the mic, and it just can't capture it, and you just kind of hear the microphone fall as the phone falls out of the hand. But usually it'll capture, the microphone will recover, and you can hear the death rattle of someone, and that is a terrible sound. That's a sound that doesn't leave you either. And I mean, it's a very needed profession, but it was just one I couldn't do anymore. I mean, call it me being not strong enough, call it me being selfish, call it me being whatever you want to call it. I couldn't take care of myself and my daughter, and do that job at the same time. Anyway, I had to quit. I couldn't do that anymore. But the only problem is when you quit abruptly and with no real plans aside from trying to salvage your own sanity, you don't really get anything. Cashed out the benefits that I'd been building. I don't have insurance. I mean, I just kind of dove into chasing my dream, which is video game streaming. And that is a terrifying avenue to take in another way because, well, I love it. I love the job. I love the work. I love making the thumbnails. I love streaming and interacting with the community. I love each side of that. But it's terrifying because I made like $8 for 2 months of work, I think, just from ad money. And I mean, I've one lovely patron who's one of my mods who's been just a staunch supporter of the work and everything, and I'm eternally grateful to him because, you know, he's bumped it from $8 for 2 months of work to $15 on top of that every month, and he has made it so that, I mean, it's the tiniest glimmers of hope that make me continue, because I would love to do this as a career. I love just all of the different aspects of streaming and gaming, and I'm enjoying blogging. It's rather therapeutic. But without a backup plan, without another source of income, it is completely terrifying because I need to be making money from it. Alright, so it's a mess. Gonna clean them up after they dry. Sorry, I just blew in the mic. Let them dry a little bit and then I'll clean them up. I'm terrified but hopeful, I guess would be the way to put it, because I want this all to work out so very badly, and I'm doggedly chasing it. I mean, I stream every day, trying to get 1 plus bagel to be potato. So that's how I got here, pretty much. I quit my job for reasons of sanity, not being able to handle all the death. Know what I'd like to do? I know what everybody's telling me to do. What I'm going to do, we'll see. Hope that I can make YouTube a career. And that everything works out. This has been a more serious blog. So, we'll see you then.